How do you assess Pakistan's counter-terrorism efforts, and especially considering that the government of Pakistan has been accused by the international community that it has been selective when it comes to cracking down on terror groups that are allegedly working from the soil of Pakistan?
In the last couple of years, especially since 2014, Pakistan has done more than any other country to reverse the tide of terrorism, to put the terrorists on the run in a time and in a region which is still grappling with this menace. And we are very pleased about it. The number of terrorist incidents, which used to be to the tune of 150 per month on the average, right up to 2014, has gone down to fingers of a single hand. And we are happy about it. It has taken us, of course, huge cost. Over 6,000 soldiers, 17,000 injured, 23,000 civilians, $123 billion worth of economic losses. But we are happy that every inch of tribal areas which was infested by these militants today has been secured. I don't think any other country has put in and shown that kind of record. As for allegations, we don't think those allegations are correct. Pakistan and US have been cooperating in the last more than 2 decades, and we have achieved results. Al-Qaeda, if you don't hear about Al-Qaeda today, it is because Pakistan and US was cooperating. Al-Qaeda is an organization that had caused 9/11, and therefore we think that no country can tell us that Pakistan has not done enough. In fact, Pakistan has done the most.
Right. You just spoke about Al-Qaeda and United States. The United States has kept, and President Trump has mentioned it in his South Asian policy last year as well, Pakistan's inability to crush Haqqani Network, because whenever you talk about terrorism, Haqqani Network, this is a topic that comes up again and again. Why is Pakistani government not doing enough to take after the group?
Well, Pakistan is squeezing space on Haqqanis and Taliban. Our message to them is very clear. You are Afghans, you should give up violence and go to Afghanistan and join the political mainstream. That's our message, and we will continue to do that. But to hold Pakistan responsible for lack of success in Afghanistan is not a fair treatment. Afghanistan has a number of myriad of issues, from governance to corruption to drug trade to 44% plus territory of the country not in the government control, to scores of terrorist outfits operating there, most recently the Daesh and ISIS coming there, making safe havens in eastern Afghanistan. So nobody can really turn around and say to us that Pakistan has not done enough. Pakistan has done, but of course we care for our relations with the US. We also listen very carefully to them. We are squeezing space on Taliban, and we will continue to do that. Taliban their worldview is not the worldview of the people of Pakistan. They are Afghans, they should be in Afghanistan, and we are having those conversations with the United States.
So what are Pakistan's main issues, concerns, challenges, and obstacles when it comes to treating extremism and terrorism from the country?
Pakistan has been engaged in a serious fight for the last 2 decades, but this problem goes back even further. It is a legacy of Afghan jihad. 40 years ago, when Soviets came into Afghanistan, this concept was brewed. And after Soviets left, Americans left, these people stayed back. They were hard-earned, battle-hardened militants. And once the Tora Bora was bombed after 9/11, most of them trickled towards Pakistan. And when Pakistan sided with the US-led coalition, we became their target, and they started attacking us left, right, and center. Until the people of Pakistan said, enough is enough. Violence and terrorism under any pretext is not acceptable. That's where our military forces moved into our tribal areas, especially in North Waziristan, where these people had created their hideouts, safe havens, IED factories, training camps, whatever else. And 2.5 to 3 years later, we were able to clean up the whole place and secure every inch of that territory. Now, it's not a small achievement. We are very pleased about it because tribal areas for centuries was an area that was left without settled governance. Today, we are preparing a political package to do that. So it's a history in the making. But is our job done yet? I don't think so. I think we need a lot more to be done. Many of these terrorists are hiding in the urban centers. So we have launched an operation, Raddul Fasad, which is intelligence-based operation. Thousands of intelligence-based operations are being conducted to sniff these people out of their hiding places and take them to task. We would also be working on the National Action Plan, which addresses the mindset which germinates extremist behavior. So we are still working on it. This is our major challenge. Of course, with the better law and order, our economy has improved and investments have poured in. So that is another major area, but we also need to work on that, I believe. The third area, I would say, it would be the youth bulge in Pakistan. That's another area where we need to be, 60% of our population is below the age of 30. So it's if we train them well, and I believe this will be a great resource for Pakistan. And if we don't train them well, I believe this will be a huge liability and could end up as a cannon fodder for extremists. And therefore, these are some of the challenges that I enumerated, but we are quite at it.
Right. You have spoken about tribal region. You must have heard there is Pashtun Tahaffuz movement going on, and they are accusing the Pakistani government that the actions they have taken and what the picture they are showing to the world, that is not correct when it comes to curbing terrorism. How do you see those statements and the voices from the tribal region? Well,
within Pakistan, Pashtuns are very committed Pakistanis, and they have rendered enormous contributions to the people of Pakistan, to the country of Pakistan, and they hold tremendous respect in the eyes of every Pakistani. There are some issues that some people like to voice. It's a free country. Everybody is welcome to express their opinions. But I think bulk of it outside has been exaggerated. I think people are exaggerating because they have their own axe to grind. Otherwise, there are talks going on with them by the authorities. The matter is also in the courts. So I think normal solutions are being found to address all their concerns.
Okay. Afghan Taliban, they have leadership councils in cities like Quetta and Peshawar in Pakistan, and it is still widely believed that Pakistan has influence over the group. So why is your government not using the influence and asking them to, give up violence and to be a part of the peace process?
It is a myth to say that there are any shuras in Pakistan, Karachi Shura, Quetta Shura, all these things. We have said time and again that there are no safe havens in Pakistan left. 44% of territory in Afghanistan is available according to US reports, and 70% according to BBC report is available to militants of that huge country. Why would they need to stay in Pakistan and hold these shuras when we are breathing down their neck, when we are squeezing space upon them? They have no reason and no incentive to stay in Pakistan. I think this is a dated information, and this gap between this kind of myths and the ground reality must be bridged.
We have seen a new trend in the past 1 year or so in Pakistan. There are many militant and hardcore religious groups. They are paving their way into the political sphere in Pakistan. Labbaik Ya Rasool and Milli Muslim League is an example. How do you see the emergence of these militant turned political parties? And do you think they should be allowed to contest in the upcoming elections in Pakistan?
Well, the Election Commission of Pakistan is seized of the matter. Last time when this party tried to seek a symbol or something, I think the Election Commission did not allow. There are certain laws and rules which have to be followed. And I believe the grain of Pakistani politics has always been a moderate version of thinking on all issues, including on Islamic issues. We believe that Islam is a religion of peace. Islam teaches love and care and understanding and harmony. So I don't think there is any place for any extremist mindset in Pakistan.
Another question would be, whenever we talk about Pakistan and terrorism, there are some international, globally recognized terrorists, such as Hafiz Saeed, who are living like a free life in Pakistan, and United States and the international community has criticized Pakistan on that. What actions your government is taking, to hold him accountable, because he's him and other terror groups and individuals?
Those of them who are on the UN list of entities and individuals, we are implementing all the three sanctions on them, which is not to fundraise, not to carry arms, and not to have international travel. We are fully implementing all these sanctions. However, and there is UN report monitoring teams which comes and monitors, and we are cooperating fully with that. But beyond that, there is also an allegation about Mumbai attacks. And unfortunately, the trial that is taking place has not been able to conclude because the evidence that was expected from India has not come in. So we have tried several times. In 2012, I think the first Judicial Commission went, but even then they could not interrogate the prosecution witnesses, except 2. And then a year later they went again. But the full range of evidence was not made available, which can stand the legal scrutiny. And therefore, this case has lingered. Some people feel that maybe perhaps India is using now Mumbai trial as a whip to bad mouth Pakistan, and therefore they are not doing it. But nevertheless, Pakistan will continue to fulfill its international obligations.
Pakistan is going to be added to FATF's grey list next month because it has not taken sufficient steps for terror financing. How Pakistan is now dealing with the issue, is to make sure that it is going to deal with the money laundering of terror groups?
Well, money laundering, we had adopted a legislation and it has been appreciated many times. We are working on freezing the accounts of all terrorist groups, State Bank of Pakistan, all the banks, everybody. We are also curtailing or checking all other channels to raise funds, such as selling hides on the eve of Eid al-Adha, and every other step. And I think we have done a lot and we are working well. But my fear is that Financial Action Task Force is now being used politically to build up pressure on Pakistan. So we do not think that this kind of political manipulation of this institution to build pressure on Pakistan is justified.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for taking out time for Extremism Watch Desk.
Thank you very much for having me with you.